Welcome everyone to another video. Today I will be walking you through how to remove all viruses, malware, adware, and spyware off of your Apple Mac computer. This will include steps on how to do a full deep clean as well as basic maintenance steps you can take to help optimize your Mac and make sure it's running at its peak efficiency. Please note all of the steps will be listed down below in the video description along with timestamps, and all links will be down there as well. I am also doing this on macOS Big Sur. However, if you are using an older version of macOS, this will still work for you. For step number 1, what you'll want to do is come down here and open up the Finder, and once the Finder is open, go up to the top and look for Go, and go all the way down to Utilities and click on it. And then from here you will want to locate the Disk utility, double click to open it. Now depending on which version of macOS you are using, you may just see Macintosh HD over here on the left hand side. You'll just want to go ahead and click on that. However, if you are using Big Sur, you'll notice a drop down and you'll just want to select the option right below Macintosh HD, and then you'll want to come over here and locate the First Aid. Click on First Aid. And then before you run this, just make sure that you save and close everything that you're working on, because this will make your computer unresponsive. Once you've done that, you want to go ahead and click on Run, and then it will give you this notification that I just went over. When you're ready, just go ahead and click on Continue. Now once it has completed, the computer will become responsive again, and you'll get a message like this with a green check mark, just letting you know that it's corrected any errors it may have found, and then you'll just want to click on Done. For step number 2, we need to run an anti-malware scan, and so if you go down to the notes down in the video description, next to step 2, there is a link there. Just go ahead and click on it and it will open up this page. Now we do want to use the free version of Malwarebytes, so just go ahead and click on the free one. And if you get a message like this asking to allow the download, just go ahead and click on Allow. And if the download does not start automatically, there is a click here where you can initiate the download. And once it has completed downloading, just come down here to the Finder and open it up. And just make sure you have Download selected in the left-hand column. Look for Malwarebytes and double click on it. And then from here, you will just want to continue through the installation process. And then once you get this message, you can go ahead and just click on Close. And then go ahead and click on Move to Trash. Now one thing I do want to quickly mention, if you have any issues with installing Malwarebytes, such as it getting blocked by macOS, come up here and click on the Apple icon up here in the top left corner and go down to System Preferences. From here, look for where it says Security and Privacy and click on it. Make sure you have the General tab selected, and you should see an option listed right here to allow Malwarebytes if it did get blocked. You will need to click on the padlock first and type in your computer password, and then you can click on Allow. If it's still not letting it go through, then you need to make a setting change to allow applications from anywhere, and I do have a video on how to do that. I will link it down below underneath step number 2. Now here in Malwarebytes, we can go ahead and click on Get Started. We want to use Personal Computer. If you get this message, just click on Maybe Later. We are not going to provide an email, so just click on Get Started. Now it does need full disk access, so just like this message says here, just go ahead and click on Open Preferences. And then once here, you'll just want to scroll down to look for where it says Full Disk and click on it, and then you'll want to look for where it says Malwarebytes. Now before you can make a change, you will need to click on the padlock and type in your computer password, and then click on Unlock. And then at this point, we can go ahead and add a check for Malwarebytes. And then we're just going to click the padlock to save it. And then we can close this window and click on Next. And we can just skip through all these steps that we just did and click on Done. Now a couple of things before we run the scan, just come up here and click on the settings icon and then look for where it says My Account and click on Deactivate Premium Trial, because we just want to use the free version. Click on Deactivate, and that will just make sure you are on the free version. And then also come over here to General and just double check to make sure PUPs right here is set to Quarantine. And then come up here to the top left and click on Malwarebytes and then click on Check for Updates. This will make sure that you are up to date to detect the most recent threats. And then after you've done that, you can go ahead and click on Scan. Now you'll just want to let the computer sit there and run the scan until it's fully completed. If it does detect anything, it will list the results and give you the option to remove and quarantine them. For step number 3, we need to run an antivirus scan. And so if you go back down to the notes next to step number 3, there will be a link for a free antivirus program, and I will list several options, but only pick and choose one. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to use the free version of Avast. All of the options I list there are free. Once you get to the page for the antivirus you want to use, just go ahead and download it. Again, if you get this message, click on Allow. If the download does not begin automatically, just click right here on Click Here. Once the download has completed, we're just going to open it by going down to the Finder and looking for Downloads and then double clicking on Avast. When you get this window, just go ahead and double click on it. You'll need to click Allow, and then you will just want to continue through the installation. Now again, if you get any notifications that something was blocked, just click on the Apple icon in the top left, go down to System Preferences, look for where it says Security and Privacy and click on it. Make sure you have the General tab selected, and this time you will notice there is an Allow button. You'll need to first click on the padlock. You'll need to type in your computer password and then click on Unlock and then click on Allow, and then you can click on the padlock to lock it. Back here we're going to click on Close and then move to Trash, and then here in Avast we can go ahead and click on Continue. Go ahead and click on Open, and then click on Allow, and then Continue, and then we'll just continue again. Now before we run the scan, let's come up here and click on Avast in the top left, go down to Check for Updates, and again we need to make sure we are up to date so we can detect the most recent threats. Now most of you can go ahead and just click on the Run Smart Scan option, however there is a More Options icon right here we can click on, and if we do that we do have a deep scan option, and I do recommend this just because it will do a more thorough scan of your computer. It does take longer, but the results can often be better. So at this point I'm going to go ahead and click on Run Deep Scan, and again you will just want to let this run until it's fully completed. It could take a long time, but please be aware that's completely normal. Once it's finished, if it detects anything, it will list the results and give you the option to remove and quarantine them. Now for step number 4, we need to make sure there are no malicious profiles installed on the computer, and to do this we're going to come up to the top left corner, click on the Apple icon, and then click on System Preferences. And then on this menu, what you need to do is look for a category that says Profiles. It's usually an icon with a check mark. I'll put an example of that up on the screen right now, and if you do not see this category, you're good to go. You can go ahead and go on to step 5. For the rest of you, you need to double click on Profiles and then select it on the left hand column and then click on the minus sign to remove it. For step 5, we're going to go through and clean out all the web browsers, and so this step's going to have 3 parts. Part A is going to be Google Chrome, Part B, Mozilla Firefox, and Part C, Safari. So for Part A, let's go ahead and open up Google Chrome, and the first thing we want to do is come up here to the top right hand corner and click on the menu, and then go down to Help and over to About Google Chrome. And once you click on that, it's just going to make sure that the browser is up to date. If it's not up to date, it will automatically start to download and install, and then it will give you a restart button. Otherwise, if it is up to date, it will give you this message with a check mark. You just want to make sure because those do include security updates. Now, after you've verified that you are up to date, let's go back to the top right corner, back to the menu, and we're going to open it up, and this time go down to More Tools and then over to Extensions. Now before we do anything, let's come over here to the top right and turn on developer mode, and we're going to click on this update button just to make sure we are up to date here as well. Now a quick note about extensions. Yes, extensions can be fun and convenient and add customization, but they're terrible for security and privacy, and they are a common way for malware to get onto the computer. And for those reasons, I strongly recommend that you remove as many extensions as possible. The only exception I would really make is for a password manager. Everything else I would get rid of. In the case of Google Chrome specifically, they do have default extensions. And so what I recommend is if there is an extension that you cannot part ways with, I would at least recommend that you disable it while it's not in use. So I'm going to go ahead and disable the default extensions. If you ever see an extension with the word toolbar in it, go ahead and just remove those. They're almost always bad. So I'm going to hit remove. And then again, in the case of my password manager, I'm going to keep it, but at least disable it while it's not in use. Now from here, we want to double check all the settings for the web browser. And we want to do that because often if you've had malware on the computer, it will try to change those settings. And so let's go up here back to the menu, open it up, and let's go down to settings. Now as we scroll down the settings list, you'll notice this safety check option. This is a good option, but it does basically what we are doing it manually, and doing it manually will often give you better results. So we're going to go ahead and continue down the list. Underneath privacy and security, the first option is clear browsing data. If you click on that, just make sure up here at the top that you click on advanced, but only check the top 4 boxes. So we're going to uncheck passwords, autofill form data, site settings. Again, only check the top 4 boxes, and we want to clear this out. Just one, it clears out the garbage, but also if you've gone to a bad website or downloaded something malicious, this will help clear it out. And we're going to go ahead and select all time, and then once we've done that, we're going to click on clear data. And then back here underneath privacy and security, there is a security section. Let's go ahead and click on that. By default, it should have the standard protection selected. You do at minimum want to make sure that you do have this selected, but there is an enhanced protection option. If you had malware on the computer, this is something you may want to look at trying just to help prevent future issues. If I click on the drop down menu, you can see the differences between the standard and the enhanced, but please be aware that if you use the enhanced, your browsing data will be sent to Google, so please be aware of that. And so let's go ahead and click back up here at the top. And then if I continue down the list right here for show home button, you do want to double check to make sure your home page did not get changed. So we're going to flip this switch on, and then right here, just verify that the home page is set to what you want it to be. If you need to change it, you can go ahead and type in whatever you want your home page to be right here in this box. And then let's continue down underneath search engine. This is another one you will want to check. Just make sure that your default search engine is set to whatever you want to use. This is a common one that will get changed by malware. You can also go to manage search engines. And if you see one here that you don't recognize or want to get rid of, there is an option right here you can use to remove it from the list. I'm going to go ahead and click the back arrow. And then the last thing we want to double check underneath on startup, just make sure that underneath this bottom option, open specific pages, this is another one that will commonly get changed. Just make sure that this option is set to websites that you specifically want open. For part B, let's go ahead and open up Mozilla Firefox. And before we do anything, let's come up here to the top left corner, click on Firefox, and then go down to About Firefox. And this will just confirm again that we are up to date. If it's not, it will automatically download and then give you a restart button to apply. Once you've verified that you are up to date, let's just go ahead and close this and then come up here and click on the menu button and go down to add-ons. And then from here, just make sure that you do have extensions selected in the left-hand column. Let's first come over here to this gear icon, click on it, and then just click on check for updates. Now, same thing applies here as what we did in Google Chrome. We want to remove as many extensions as possible. And so I'm going to click on this little menu and then click on remove and then remove again. And then the only exception we're going to make is for our password manager, and we're going to disable it while it's not in use. And then one other thing I would recommend that you check here is let's go over to plugins, and the list of plugins you see will be different than what you see on mine. But I do recommend that you go through everything on your list, open up the menu button, and if it gives you the option to select Ask to Activate, go ahead and select that option just because that will make sure that these are not always running in the background. It increases security. If it gives you the option, set it to Ask to Activate. Otherwise, just go ahead and leave it as is. Next, let's go back to the menu in the top right. And then this time, let's go down to Preferences. And then from here, let's go ahead and go over to the Home option in the left-hand column. And we just want to make sure that our home page did not get changed. So right here, we can just verify that it's correct. And then also for new tabs, also just make sure that this is correct. And then from here, let's go ahead and go over to Search. Again, we just want to confirm that our default search engine did not get changed. So if you need to adjust it, just click on the drop-down menu and select the search option that you want to use. If there's one here that you don't recognize or want to get rid of, we can scroll down and then find the one we want to remove. Just select it and then click on this remove button. And then next, let's go ahead and click on privacy and security. You'll notice here at the top there is a standard and strict option, and this is different than what we went over in Google Chrome. This has more to do with privacy rather than security. So most of you will want to stick with the standard option, but you can use strict if you want to increase privacy. It just may cause some problems here or there on certain websites, so please be aware of that. I do recommend that you select always for do not track. And we want to continue down this list until we get to the section titled History. And same thing with Google Chrome as here. We want to go ahead and clear out the history just in case we went to a malicious website. Just check these top 5 boxes. And then I would recommend just go ahead and get rid of everything to clean it all out. This will also get rid of all the garbage data. Do not check the bottom 2. And then we're just going to go ahead and click on OK. And then let's go ahead and continue down a little bit further. If you want to limit the amount of data that Firefox collects, I would recommend that you uncheck these boxes. But underneath security, make sure to check these boxes just to help prevent or warn you against malicious websites. For part C, let's go ahead and open up Safari. And with Safari, we do not have to manually check for updates because those will come through Apple updates for macOS. And so let's come up here to the top left-hand corner, click on Safari, and then click on Preferences. And then in this window, just make sure you have the Extensions tab selected. This will give you a list of all the extensions on Safari. Same rules apply here. We want to remove as many extensions as possible. And so what we're going to do is first uncheck the box. and then we're going to go ahead and select it and then click on uninstall and then click on show in Finder. And then you will need to locate the extension you are trying to uninstall. Just go ahead and click and drag it to the trash. If it asks for your computer password, go ahead and type it in and then click on OK, and then that will remove it. We're just going to go ahead and click on the X to close the Finder. And then again, this one is a password manager, so we're going to keep it, but we're going to uncheck the box to disable it while it's not in use. Next thing, we can click on privacy, and you will just want to double check to make sure you have this top box checked, and then underneath security, again, make sure you have it checked next to fraudulent sites, so this will warn you and protect you against possible future threats. And then from here, we want to click on the search option. Again, just double check to make sure the default search engine did not get changed. If it did, you can change it from here. And then last, click on the general tab, and you will want to double check these top 4 options. This one right here is for homepage. If you need to change the homepage, again, just type in right here what you want your homepage to be. And then the top one Safari opens with, you can change this option as well as new windows, new tabs. Again, just double check these top 4 options because those are common ones to get changed if malware got on the computer. One other thing I did forget to mention with Safari is when you select the Safari window and come up here to the top, there is a history option and a clear option. Again, you'll just want to go ahead and click on this to clear out all of the garbage data. And so just go ahead and select all and then click on clear history. For step 6, we just need to make sure that everything is up to date, including our operating system, macOS, and all applications. So to do that, let's go up to the top left corner, click on the Apple icon, and then click on About This Mac. From here, you should see a software update option. Go ahead and click on that. And this will just check for updates. If there is an update available, it will list it and give you an update option or a restart now option. Otherwise, it will let you know that you are up to date. Now, to make sure applications are up to date, again, come to the top left corner, click on the Apple icon, and then this time click on the App Store. And then from here, just come to the left-hand column and click on Updates, and it will list any updates that are available for your applications. Again, updates are very important because they include security updates as well as they can often resolve issues and bugs. For step number 7, we need to go through and do a login item audit just to make sure there are not programs running in the background, and this will help prevent the Mac from slowing down and help optimize it and make sure it's running at its peak efficiency. So to do this, we just come up to the top left corner, click on the Apple icon, and then click on System Preferences. From here, look for Users and Groups and click on it. From here, just make sure you have your user selected in the left-hand column, and then come over here to Login Items, and this will give you a list of all the applications set to run in the background every time you turn your Mac on. We need to get this list down to 0. To do that, we just select an item and then click on this minus sign and just do that for each one, again, until there's nothing on this list. For step number 8, we just want to go through and remove all the garbage files off of our computer, and so to do that, come up to the top left corner, click the Apple icon, and then click on About This Mac. From here, go ahead and just click on the storage option, and it will take a few moments, but it's going to give you a breakdown of everything that is on your Mac computer. And please be aware that once your drive passes about 85% full, it will begin to slow down and you will start to experience longer load times. And so if your drive is less than that, if you're say closer to 20% full, you may want to go ahead and skip this step because you're not going to see a major improvement in performance. But regardless, those of you who do want to go through and clean out some garbage, go ahead and click on Manage. And then from here, just make sure you have recommendations selected. I do suggest that you go through each of these options here, but especially the Reduce Clutter option. I'm just going to go ahead and click on Review Files. And then up here at the top, we can select large files and then sort by size, so that way we can see what is taking up the most space on our Mac computer and delete them if they are unneeded. I would also recommend that you select the File Browser, and this will give you a list of all the folders on your Mac computer. You do want to make sure that you go through each one of these and delete all the things that are unnecessary, that you no longer use, that are just taking up space. Just do a really good job here. Go through each one of these folders and delete everything that you no longer need. So for example, I can go ahead and click on the Movies folder and just look for a file I know I no longer need. If I select it, I can just go ahead and click on the Move to Trash button to delete it. For step number 9, we need to go through and remove and clean out all of the applications and programs on our Mac computer. And to do that, we're going to come down here to the bottom and open up the Finder and just make sure you have applications selected on the left-hand column. and this will give you a list of all the programs and apps on your Mac computer. You want to make sure to do a really good job on this step and go through and clean out all of the garbage, but also keep an eye out for any malicious or bad programs that may have been installed. If a scan earlier found any results, there is a good chance that you do have something bad installed on your computer. Now, some recommendations to start off, I would recommend that you remove Avast as well as Malwarebytes that we installed earlier, and we do this because again we're trying to clean out the computer, not add to the clutter. I would also recommend that you go through this list and look for applications you no longer use and just remove them if you no longer need them. Also keep an eye out for anything that says toolbar or any program or app that claims to be a cleaner or optimization program. Those are usually bad, and I would recommend that you remove those as well. If you see anything on this list and you do not know what it is, you can always go to Google, type in the name, and do a little research to find out whether it's good or bad. Now I'm going to show you how to remove Avast and Malwarebytes because those can be a little bit tricky. So first off, I'm going to double click on Avast to open it up, and with it open, if we come up here to the top left hand corner, click on Avast, there's an option right here that says uninstall Avast security. Just go ahead and click on that, and then on this window just go ahead and click on continue. If it asks for your password, go ahead and type it in and click on install helper. If it asks for your password again, just go ahead and type it in and click on OK, and then you should get an uninstallation successful message. You can just go ahead and click on continue. Now for Malwarebytes, we're going to come up here and click on this little search option, and we're going to type in Malwarebytes, and we just want to make sure that we have this Mac selected. And then we're going to click on this little plus sign, and then we're going to make sure we have name selected, matches, and then we're going to type in Malwarebytes, and then click the plus sign again. And then on this drop down, we want system files. If you do not see system files, click on other, go to the search and type in just system, and then right here, just add a check to the box and then click on OK. If we come back here, we can then select system files, and then we want to change this to are included, and this will give us a list of everything related to Malwarebytes. We're just going to click and drag to select everything, and then we are going to click and drag to the trash. If it asks for your password, go ahead and just type it in and click OK, and then the rest of Malwarebytes should remove after a computer restart. From here, we can just go ahead and go back to the applications folder, and for the remaining applications, in most situations, if you find something you want to delete, you can just click on it and drag it to the trash to delete it. But I do recommend if you run into an application that's giving you troubles as far as removing it, you can go through the exact same steps that I did with Malwarebytes that does a more thorough removal process. Once you have deleted all the applications you no longer need and they're all in the trash, what you want to do is just go ahead and open up the trash, and then if we come up here to the menu and click on it, there is an empty trash option. You just want to make sure that you completely empty the trash. If this pops up, go ahead and click on empty again, and then at this point this will lead us into our 10th and final step, which will be to restart the computer. And so you'll just want to go ahead and close everything, come up here to the Apple icon, and then click on restart. After your Mac restarts, you should be good and ready to go. You can see that Malwarebytes and Avast are no longer at the top. If for any reason you are still experiencing any problems or issues, I would recommend that you back up all of your important data and consider doing a factory reset. I will post a link down below in the notes down in the video description to a short video that will walk you through that process. That's everything for this video. If you have any comments, please post them down below. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a great day. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you found it helpful, please go ahead and consider sharing it. And please also consider subscribing to my channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notifications on future videos.